Anyway, I sat with Robert Pattinson, who I have bagged in the past because I was jealous of how beautiful he was, and I'm convinced I'm loving this guy. He was so nice. We sat at chat for 5 minutes about the new movie. Here it is.
Rob, finally. A little bit of sex in this film. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
As a grown man watching it, I was like, sort of going for you, and then we discussed it, and there was 3 of us in this movie. We discussed it on the way home. Well, I felt like a teenager all over again. Was every time you played chess, was that whoever wins gets to have the sex?
Yeah, it's a very strange part of the movie.
I loved it.
It's literally like when Edward going around trying to avoid it. He has sex once.
Avoid it?
He has sex once and then just spends the rest of his honeymoon terrified of doing it again.
It was flashbacks of a teenage boy. I'll tell you what, watching that again, I liked it. And the graphic, everyone that's seen the book knows that there's going to be a baby / demon baby, whatever this baby is. Graphic scenes during that. Was it as horrific filming it, or is it, really it's just work and there's no real fear there?
No, I think it's probably more horrific filming it, to be honest, because I think it would be impossible to show the full extent of what the set looked like. I mean, without it being R-rated. I remember going onto the set the first day, and they had this prosthetic dummy of Kristen, and it was so emaciated with this huge, mutated baby bump. And her rib cage was sticking out, and she was just lying there looking like dead and like a zombie, and just covered in blood, and she's wearing these rags, and I'm like, Jesus, how are we supposed to, how is this ever going to be in the movie? And we're doing those shots, whatever it's called, the adrenaline shots into
the heart, yeah, and it's always icky feeling.
Oh man, it was horrible. And I did that there was a breastplate on Kristen, but it was actually her head. And I was like, I really don't understand you.
Because she looked in some of those scenes there's a part there where she does look beyond death, and I thought, surely she hasn't lost that much weight, or how did they do that? But it was a dummy.
Yeah, bits of it were a dummy, and she had kind of prosthetic things, like her cheekbones and stuff are extended. So even in the flesh, I mean, she looked like she was green, and it was terrible. It was a horrible, horrible sight.
I even heard that they wanted to make this not an R-rated film. It probably should have been. But you shot it, and then when they were editing it, they were like, "Oh, that's too full on that sex. Cut that out." What did we miss?
I don't know. I mean, I'd be curious to know. I mean, the ratings board is very strange. You're judged on such specific criteria. It's not like a general thing. They'll be like, oh, that noise, you can't have more than 6 noises during a sex scene.
That's ridiculous.
And it's really strange. I did another movie where they said the sex was too emotional, so you had to make it less emotional.
So I would have thought more emotional. They would like that, like less physical, more emotional.
It's so weird.
There are some beautiful bits in this movie. A bit of it shot in Brazil, like the honeymoon that you guys had.
Yeah.
Gorgeous moon shots. The islands looks fantastic. Did you enjoy filming there?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, especially after doing the rest of the series in a freezing cold forest, pretty much, and a warehouse, and then suddenly ending up in the most beautiful house I've ever seen in Brazil, and going to work on a boat every single day. It was incredible.
The love triangle is not gone anywhere in this movie. I was thinking myself, because I'm married, so separated, we won't get into that, but you're married finally, and the other creep just keeps chiming in. Hard to watch as a guy. You just think, get the point, clown, it's finished.
That was the one time I've ever been really irritated with Edward's character. I remember reading the book and at one point having to just put it down and be like, listen, I don't know what the idea is behind making Edward like this, but this is definitely not the way the supposed perfect man
you don't want that. Get out, take the hint.
Yeah, and also it's like at a certain point you would expect your wife to say, like, even if she doesn't necessarily say it, but she kind of wants you to punch him.
Yeah, don't dance in the forest with anyway, I'm getting all emotional about it. I'm trying to pump out all the feelings.
I got so incredibly emotional about it when I was talking to Bill Condon when It's like, if he came to my wedding, especially when I introduced him, I mean, I changed some of the lines, because it's like, I've got the most special gift of all in the forest. I'm like, what am I talking about? Like, I mean, this doesn't make any sense. And just allowing Bella to just dance with Jacob, and it's like the most emotional thing in the world. And I was initially watching it, and I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and watch them dance with each other. Like, so there were bits which are cut out of the movie where I'm like, I walk off and say I'm going to go and dance with, there's another girl, another vampire who's my ex-girlfriend, who's there, who flirts with me, and I go and say to Bella, like, I'm going to go and dance with her.
That's more realistic.
Yeah, if you want to dance with Jacob, like...
Well, I loved it, though, man. As a 40-year-old man, and this is the first time I've watched on a big screen, totally loved it. Everyone else is going to eat it up. Cool. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks
Appreciate it, man. Well done. Congratulations.
The Kyle and Jackie O Show.
Get all the Twilight gossip online.